Another week, another batch of degeneracy coming to you live from the cesspool of the internet, aka twitter.com. Today we've got professional athletes, Onlyfans girls, and so much more. Y'all are truly in for a treat with this one. I must say though, it never ceases to amaze me how we as a society have just hand-selected the idiots we make famous. And I think this video will not only illustrate that point, but I think it also serves as a friendly reminder that we as a species deserve a timeout. We're just so cooked at this point. I think it's time to pack it up, we need to nuke the earth and start over. I do believe that a fresh start will serve us well, but enough with all the theatrics. First story of the day, we're going to be talking about Saucegardner from the New York Jets. Let's honestly just get into the story. I'm sure it'll be oh so educational as always. I saw this article on Twitter. It comes from Barstool Sports. It says, if you're a married OnlyFans model who's been DMing Saucegardner, you'd be wise not to troll him about his coverage skill. Being a cornerback with 2 All-Pro honors in your first 2 seasons and a Defensive Rookie of the Year award on your resume comes with certain privileges. In the case of Saucegardner, who recently went public with his love of the great game of golf, one of the benefits of his success is the golf simulator he's having built in his house. So here is the golf simulator in question. He took a picture of the work in progress here, put it on Twitter saying, do I even have to say what I'm getting built at my new house? So obviously, pretty innocent tweet here, right? Just kind of showcasing off his new golf simulator and the work here. But unfortunately, not everyone on the internet shares a similar sentiment. Not everyone out there on twitter.com cares about golf or cares about Saucegardner. They're not out here doing it for the love of the game like Sauce is. But not all AFC East fans share that goodwill, apparently. One Bills fan in particular chose this moment to come at Gardner hard. A simulator to teach you how to not commit pass interference or defensive holding. So yeah, pretty epic, pretty cool, pretty based, I would definitely say. Not a huge Sauce fan, it would appear. She used this moment to throw a little bit of shade his way, right? Like, pretty harmless remark in the grand scheme of things because, let's be honest, shit like this happens from time to time in sports, right? A little bit of shit talking from time to time because after all, we are talking about sports, we're talking about a pretty competitive football league here. I mean, it's literally professional football. It's very competitive, man, and a lot of trash talk tends to take place. That's just kind of the reality of sports in general, right? Like I said, it's a competitive sport, and a lot of players and fans alike really tend to get into it, especially this time of year, right? We've been without football for damn near 9 months. People are getting stoked, right? Myself included. I also think it's important though to note that she herself is a Bills fan, so it kind of makes sense why she'd be talking shit towards a player from a division rival in the Jets, right? And truth be told, I've seen far worse, so I really honestly think this is pretty tame. But apparently Sauce forgot to turn on his brain that day and instead decided to respond with what I deem pretty soft coverage, man. He was pretty big mad, we'll say. He tweeted this in response. I'm sure your husband wouldn't like it if I told him you DM'd me your OnlyFans link, would he? Alright, man, what the fuck are we doing, dog? It's not that deep, I promise. Like, under different circumstances, maybe this would be a pretty fire comeback, but it's like, dog, you're getting heckled on social media like literally everybody else does every single day. Like, why are you so mad? Especially given the fact you're a highly successful multi-millionaire that literally gets paid to play with balls. Ayo, pause. But like, dude, why even entertain this? Seriously, like, shit talk is part of the profession, dude. You're a professional entertainer. It's gonna happen. You're gonna get heckled from time to time. So my advice is just to leave it alone, man. Like, what does this serve you? What purpose does this serve? Or at the very least, if you've got to say something, at least come out swinging with slurs or something like my man Jaron Duran. Alright, yo, chill. I was just messing. Don't cancel me. But like, seriously, man, don't do this. Especially since he went and dropped this bombshell with no actual evidence to back it up. And then fast forward days later, we're still waiting for the receipts to drop. And so far, he's not only gone radio silent on the topic, but he's actually deleted the original tweet as well. And yet there's morons that genuinely believe he bodied her or something. It's like, bro, no he didn't. He just made himself look soft, with many people even alluding to his tendency to hold by claiming he's holding on to baseless claims regarding this OnlyFans link. It just makes him look goofy. And not only that, but like, really think about about it here for a second, why would she want to slide through the DMs of a player she doesn't even like, you know, seeing as though, again, she's a Bills fan? I mean, I guess it could just be some elaborate OnlyFans promotion. You know, we've seen crazier things in the past, but considering how fragile Sauce's ego has been, not only here, but in the past, I kind of doubt that too. Like, I think what we really have here is just another case of a stupid famous person doing stupid things, right? I did a lot of digging for this OnlyFans account for scientific purposes, of course, and have not found any sort of proof of one ever existing in the first place, and so I think it's pretty safe to say we ain't getting any leaked DMs anytime soon. So what have we learned here? You know, don't be soft. It's not professional and definitely not a good look for you, me boy. But speaking of degeneracy and inflated egos, this next story is absolutely insane, man. We've got another famous person just doing stupid shit, this time a bit more serious of a situation as it involves driving under the influence, or, you know, as I would call it, a typical Saturday night. You know, beer plus keys equals... Okay, I'm done. Jesus. Let's just roll it.
I wonder what you're arrested for.
Maybe for hitting a child.
I didn't hit nobody.
Oh, it's on camera,
At
so.
this point, you're being under arrest for two things: being the scene of an accident and for being under the influence while driving.
I'm not under the influence. I just passed all of your tests. I didn't. I wasn't
and
under
you
the
fled the
influence.
scene of an accident and you caused major injury to a
Yeah,
person.
to a child. Not a person. Not
Well,
a
that's what it is.
So yeah, dog, this hysterical woman had a night on the town, you know, getting litty-titty, I mean, figuratively with the alcohol, but also with the outfit. Like, side note here, what is she wearing exactly? Or I guess technically a more accurate statement would be, what isn't she wearing? The answer, of course, being any clothes whatsoever. Like, you know it's bad when the original video is taking from Twitter a literal cesspool full of nudity and, we'll say, adult cinematography, and it still has to be blacked out. Like, put your udders away, girl. Have some self-respect, have some decency. Like, I get when you're clubbing, it's the fucking Wild West, but like, you're being stopped by police officers and you didn't for a second consider, hey, you know, maybe I should cover myself up. Nah, that would make too much sense, but I mean, she is drunk driving, you know, driving insanely fast, might I add, while doing so it does kind of make sense that there's absolutely zero brain activity here whatsoever. But not only that, but the bad cop, as I'll refer to her in this scenario, makes a pretty valid point here. You know, apparently a 17-year-old child was hit on a scooter and had pretty severe injuries, including a lacerated spleen and neck fractures due to this. Like, Jesus Christ, man. What a fucking degenerate loser. And I know I'm gonna sound like a broken record, you know, perhaps it's the fact I'm approaching unk status, but there is zero excuse to be driving drunk in the year 2024, man. Like, that's just a fact. You've got plenty of driving apps to pick from, you know, you've got your Ubers, your Lyfts, all of that. You've got taxis in the city where she's clearly located at. And you've got your cell phone, man. Like, phone a friend. There's no excuse. Because now we've got a situation where an innocent child is recovering from major injuries. Like, this kid was on a scooter, you know. He or she, I'm not really sure if it was a boy or a girl, could literally have died. And all she does is laugh about it. Talking about some, oh, I'm not under the influence. You know, I passed all your testes.
I'm not under the influence. I just passed all of your tests.
Testes? Like balls? and fuck you mean you are under the influence. Let's go ahead and relay the facts here, you know, just to make sure she understands the situation correctly here. So she's clearly drunk, right? She hit someone and they've caught it all in 4K. You know, she can't even formulate words and sentences without slurring. She's uncontrollably laughing at the situation, you know, not realizing the severity of what's going on. And like I've mentioned, someone was hospitalized over this. And we're all supposed to just sit back here and believe that, oh, because you're a famous R&B singer, you know, that we're all wrong and you should be free to go.
You know what she told him though? She said, oh, we're a celebrity. That's what the fuck.
No, I'm an R&B singer. You can't repress me.
People like this are the worst, man. You know, there's no worse celebrity than a sloshed one who reeks of booze and entitlement. Like, who the fuck do you think you are? You know, you're not above the law. You're not above the innocent bystander you took out. You know, as a matter of fact, I don't give a fuck if you're Jesus Christ himself who turned water to wine and is now wine drunk, high off his own supply, if you will. I don't give a fuck. You know, she could have killed someone and yet has the audacity to sit here and laugh and giggle like, oh, tee-hee, oopsies, my bad, guys, but it's okay, because I make shitty music for people who may or may not have an unplanned drunken pregnancy. Like, shut up and get your ass in the back of the squad car and into a jail cell, and tell it to the judge, as the old cliche goes. I can't stand people who are this full of themselves and think that rules don't apply to them. Makes you wonder how they even have fans, to be honest, but let's continue.
Don Julio.
Bro, what the fuck? She got the 1942? We fucking serious right now? I was sitting here thinking, oh, maybe she had a few shots at the club, maybe she had a couple beers, but nah, this bitch getting shlit off the whole goddamn Don Julio, bro. Like, can I blame her? I mean, she got good taste, I'll give her that. She's got that, well, if I can't drink this while driving, why does it fit conveniently in the cup holder is? Gotta respect her choice, that's for sure, but nah, seriously, man, lock her up and throw away the key, bro. Like, seriously, chugging Don Julio while driving is insane. That's a 40%er, and she dead ass sees no issue with it. There is no reason to believe that she is even remotely capable of operating a vehicle, because that bottle is what we know of. God only knows how much more she had, and so I wish we could see the breathalyzer results, the ones that according to her she passed with flying colors. Judas Priest, man. And also, she claims to be so rich and famous, you can't arrest me, I'm a famous R&B singer. It's like, yeah, but you can't afford an Uber. It's absolutely pathetic, man. Again, zero excuse for this. And for our last story of the day, this one's pretty disgusting, so just brace yourselves. I'll provide you that little preliminary warning now, but yeah, you have been warned. So, ex-husband of Onlyfans star who has son film her X-rated content has spoken out. The ex-husband of Onlyfans model Andressa Urich had a few things to say about her relationship with her 19-year-old son. The Brazilian content creator and her son Arthur have caused quite the stir after he revealed that he helps his mother to shoot her $50 a month OnlyFans content. I imagine that filming your mom's NSFW content isn't on many people's to-do list. However, both Urich and Arthur have continuously defended their working relationship. So I believe the phrase, "the West has officially fallen," was coined due to unfortunate realities like this. I mean, what the fuck do y'all even want me to say here? Actually, I do want to pose a question for the fellas, specifically in the comments here. So, regardless of how hot or not y'all's moms are, would you set sail in search of the legendary One Piece? Would you subject yourself to filming your own mother butt-ass naked for her $50 a month OnlyFans content? Like, genuine question, because, like, I think the world we live in that's, we'll say, oh so full of critically acclaimed adult blockbusters such as this, have cooked our brains and perceptions, man, and I think the average person that reads this doesn't even really see an issue with it anymore until you truly step back for a second and ask yourself that. So ask yourself that question. For me, no amount of money, fame, or lifestyle could convince me to do something like this. This is just straight up degenerate, man. If that is on your to-do list, as they call it here in the article, we as dignified and sophisticated individuals here on the channel are throwing you in a padded room. In an Instagram Q&A, the 19-year-old insisted that he doesn't find it weird, adding, "Sometimes I have to tell her what position she has to be in, what the girl has to do. The last one we did where we hooked up with a woman in a motel, I literally gave the instructions for most of the photos and videos. It was all me saying, do this, do that. I can only think of a position that is better to sell more." He'd also previously described himself as a badass with pictures. Nah, bro, like I said, we're so fucking cooked. We're finished, bro. As a species, it's time to just nuke us and start the fuck over, man. And what do you fucking mean, a badass with pictures? So just so you know, this is what the badass with pictures in question looks like. With all of this in mind, I do just want to get it out there that I get it's brat summer or white boy summer, whatever the fuck you want to call it, but this is just taking it too far, man. Like, I honestly at this point don't even know what's truly worse. You know, the fact he's doing this in the first place, or the fact that this McLovin fatherfucker, you know, this gangsters, what's up guys looking ass dude has the audacity and the ego to refer to himself as a badass with pictures, man. You know, we've seen a lot of crazy things here on the channel over the years, but this is just truly unacceptable behavior. You can take pics of your mom's balloon knot all day and all night, you know, you do what you please, that's your prerogative. But what we ain't gonna do is sit here and fucking lie, dude. Like, again, this is the dude that's out here talking like this. You know, this is the dude that's yapping like this. Badass with pictures is just insane, bro. Give me a break, dude. What the fuck am I hearing, man? When asked by a reporter if he gets horny during the shoots.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
He said that it's not sexual in the slightest, as it's just work to him. So he doesn't get horny, and that she's his mother, so he's not attracted to her. Alright, man, it's time to take a time out, man. It's time to stop. You, sir, need to relax. So not only do we have freaks like the mom and son doing this type of degenerate shit, but now we've got this reporter stepping in. You know, the plot thickens, so to speak. So what the hell is this dude on about? You know, there are so many words in the dictionary to pick from. You know, so many words and phrases in his arsenal. So many other questions at his disposal, and this is the best he could come up with. Do you get horny? Nah, man, this freak needs to be locked up ASAP as well. However, the pair have faced some criticism from not just social media users, but also those closer to home. Namely, Urik's ex-husband and Arthur's stepdad, Diego Lopez. The former couple broke up in February of last year and share a son, 1-year-old Leon. In response to Urik apparently taking Arthur out to the clubs, Lopez said, "What about a mother who takes her own son to a whorehouse to watch her mother rub up against other men?" And I have to echo Lopez's thoughts here. So who the fuck does that, man? So picture this for a sec. You know, a 19-year-old kid, you know, he's still pretty young. He's still pretty impressionable, I would say. You know, he should be going out to the clubs and, you know, touching grass at the very least, and talking to other women, meeting other people, and having all sorts of different experiences. Experiences outside of the world of recording your mother naked for OnlyFans. And yet here we are, like, what a degenerate world to live in. Not only that, but she has a 1-year-old son, Leon, and she's doing all this shit. Like, this bitch needs to focus on her family, man. This is fucking insane. Although Arthur is very serene and not ashamed, of course, to help his mom with her content, he admitted that one scene he'd helped shoot that he thought was a bit gross. He started, "There was a scene, oh my god," to which his mom jumped in to detail exactly what went down. She said, "I was shooting an anal scene and it got messy," and he was like, "Ew, that's gross." Man, what a stink, Arthur added. Urik continued, "I had done an enema, but the water went too far, so that did not work, and when I pull it out, ugh, disgusting." Oh, I feel so gross reading this, guys. Give me a second. When asked what she did in that moment, she simply stated, "I started to laugh." Of course you did, bitch. Like, how can you have no shame? This is the most disgusting thing I've ever read, bro. This is a psychological phenomenon that I refer to as podcast mic syndrome. It's where you get a fucking mic in front of your face and suddenly you're just fucking spouting out anything you want with no regard for your dignity, your shame. It's like some things are better left unsaid, y'all. But instead, she's got a mic in front of her face and decides to shamelessly tell the whole world her story. Like, tee-hee, oopsies, you know, I'm so quirky for this. While meanwhile, the rest of us are just scratching our head, wondering where your shame is and why you even felt the need to tell us this in the first place. Quite literally, and I do mean quite literally, Batman could not get this information out of me. This is the most outlandish shit, and it just didn't need to be said. But yeah, I'm gonna call it there, guys. This is disgusting. No outro. I'm out. Bye.